So can I start, sir?
Yep.
So good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Today is our the presentation, the final presentation for the mba691 research method and project design. Along with team members Nirajan Kodel, Mira, Strela, and Williams. It's me, Vivek Vikram Chaudhary, and Isha Mananda. Okay, talking about the project details, client details, the client name, Abdul Nasir Mohammed, and the company name TechWorks Private Limited, and the project supervisor name Professor Paul Kalwan. So, our project, the project description is about the enhancing of business performance through the data analysis for an e-commerce business. According to our project, the e-commerce business primarily operating in UAE, Sudan for the last 14 months, and they have collected data regarding their sales. So the project team members is required to collect necessary data and use necessary tools and techniques for data analysis, and based on client requirements, delivery product that will allow client to improve the business performance. So this is about our the project for enhancing the business performance through data analysis and for the e-commerce business. So this second part is the client requirements. As we mentioned, the client has some requirements. The first is the identify the attributes for analysis. So the second is the product categorization templates. Here we can see the figure one. There is the templates like first one is male, men, women, the kids, home, sports, electronics, health, associations, grocery, and rather than more. So this is our the templates that we're collecting for the data from the for the client requirements. So so second part is the third part is the data extraction. In the figure two, we can see the Google Sheet that we have mentioned, the ID, the order names, the category, subcategory, quantities, price, according to the client requirements that we have been collecting. So for data extraction, we have collected more than 1400 data till now. So we have just collecting according to the time. So the fourth is descriptive dashboard. This in this according to the dashboard, the identify the different ways to group data to display the information. So and second is the visual presentation for those data, and third the most provided business value. So in descriptive dashboard, and the fifth part is the predictive dashboard. We have the develop a model description predictions, the visual sales forecast for next 14 month, the visualization and the category sale forecast for next 14 month. So we can already describe about the client categories, sorry, client requirements, the figure one, and this is the figure two. So for regarding to continue the slide, I would like to call the Isa to continue the slide. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to describe about the literature review. The project team we did the literature review to gather the information on relation between e-commerce business and data analysis. Some of the literature that were reviewed related to our project are as follow: implementing big data analytics in e-commerce, vendor and customer view. This literature review focuses on the implementation of the big data analytics in the context of e-commerce, considering both the vendor as well as the customer perspective. Uh, Business intelligence for e-commerce survey and research direction. This literature review provides a survey of business intelligence techniques and their application in the e-commerce domain. It discussed the role of business intelligence in improving customer experience and various expect in e-commerce operation, business analytics and market adoption in e-commerce industry in Nigeria. And this literature review focuses especially on the e-commerce industry in Nigeria and examine the role of business analytics in the market.
Isha?
Have we lost Isha?
Yes, sir.
It seems like her audio is muted.
Hello, can you hear
Hello?
me?
Yep. Vivek, you can turn off your video. Yep. Isha, please continue. Yep.
Customer purchase behavior. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Customer purchase behavior prediction in e-commerce. This literature review focuses on on predicting the consumer purchase behavior in the e-commerce industry. Vivek, next slide. Now I'm going to talk about the various research question. Um, in We have formulated few research question in our project, that how the data can be extracted. They are: what are the most likely category and subcategory that consumer might have purchased? Is there a pattern of how product sales are affected over a time period? Based on historical data, what are the expected sales pattern for the upcoming year, and how can the business use this information to make data driven decision making? Next slide. Uh, these are the project design that are review product category product categorization, as we have formulate a template for the project. So this step include the review of the product categorization, data collection, manual and web scraping. The data are collected in both method, manual and scraping method. Data processing and cleaning. After the data has been collected, the data are processed in a format and the data are cleaned. Like while collecting the data manually, there may be some error in handling the data. In in manually doing the data in the sheet, there may have been some error, so we have to clean the data. Model for predictive analysis. The model for the predictive analysis, for analyzing the future, we have to predict the model. Data analysis, descriptive and predictive dashboard. Data are analyzed in descriptive dashboard as well as predictive dashboard. Descriptive dashboard utilizing the historical data like past data, and predictive dashboard for the future, for analyzing the future sales pattern of the data. Visual representation of the result. After collecting all the data in manual and web scraping method, the there is a visual representation of the result that the all the data has been collected, like pie chart, graph, graph, pie chart, etc. Thank you. The next slide will be continued by Stella.
Thank you, Isha. Stella, if you can turn on your video when you present, that would be good.
Yes. Thank you, Isha. Uh, Bibek, can you uh make it bigger, like slideshow? can you click the slideshow at the top?
Um,
At the top right corner, yeah. Next slide. Can you go to the next slide? Oh, this was already done by Isha. Yeah, thank you. So as Isha discussed previously, we are following manual as well as web scraping for data collection method. So these two figures shows the flow chart of the manual as well as the web scraping flow. So figure 3 that shows the manual ones. So first we have to enter the credential to yarosan.com. And once we enter, as we are collecting data from the last to current, so we have to go to the end of the page, and from there we'll navigate to the order, and from the order we'll get like the order number, origin date from the screen itself, and after that we'll go to the order line. Sometimes a product may have more than one order line, so in that case, we have to go to the each line. So we'll get the quantity and the price details from each line, and also in the link in each line, it have a link. That link will direct to the platform where the client has customers have ordered. So from there, we'll get to select the product category and the product details, and we'll save that in an Excel spreadsheet. That's how we did for the manual extraction. It's the same format that we are using web scraping to gather the data. So first, we'll use Test Cafe. That's the software that we use. So using Test Cafe, we'll log into enter the it will enter the credential, and it will automatically go to Yarosan. And if the credentials are correct, then it will navigate to the page number. If not, it will the results will fail. So if we have already collected all the information from the page number, it will move to the next page, or else it will move to the current page, and from there it will run in a loop. So within the for loop, it will go to the order, and it will get the order details, and if they have already collected the order, it will go to the next order. Likewise, it will run in the loop until it collected all the data. So once it's go to the order, from the order, it will get the order number, origin date, as it's all appear at the top of the order details. From there, it will go to the order line, and from each line, it will get the product quantity and the price, and from there, it will direct the link, and if the link if it failed to go to the link, it will save the details, or else it will go to the link again and try to get the category details again. If that fails, it will save the details collected so far, and if not, it will if it's success also, it will save the details, and it will again run in a loop and move to the next order. So this is how the process flow chart works for both manual and web scraping. Vivek, next slide, please. So as per the client requirement, we have to provide them with descriptive as well as predictive dashboards. So we have to follow descriptive analysis as well as predictive. So these are the methods that we are going to use. First, we are planning to use Power BI to load data and create dashboard for visualizations. And we are planning to explore other visualization tools as well, but our initial plan is to follow Power BI. And also we are planning to get the descriptive information by grouping the attributes. By grouping the attributes, for example, if we group by month, we'll see we can identify a peak or um, seasonal targets or seasonal sales period. So using the historical data. And the other method that we are planning to use was clustering method. So using clustering method will identify which group of product category sold at high value and high quantity. That's what we are planning to follow for descriptive analysis. And for predictive analysis, we are planning to use RStudio, but there are other options as well, like Python, but we'll explore that later while we are doing 692. But currently our plan is to follow R. So we are planning to divide the data set by 70-30 by training data set 70 and testing 30. So majority of the data will be testing it, and from the untrained data, 30% will train that. So that's how we'll create the training and testing models. And while we testing the models, we'll see how the accuracy of the model is, and if the accuracy is, if there are any discrepancies or if there are any issues in the accuracy, then we'll review the model if needed. And also, after getting all the details, we'll use Power BI for visualization. Vivek, next slide. Vivek? Vivek? Vivek, can you move to next slide, please? Can you hear me?
Vivek, are you here?
Vivek? If I present, will it interrupt the recording? Don't think so, right?
If you share from your
yes, yeah.
no, it won't.
No, it won't.
Yeah. Vivek,
Nirajan, can you message Vivek or call?
I've just sent him a message.
Thank you. Yes. Can everyone see my screen?
I think it's loading up now. Hold on, it's still not yet showing. Yes. I can see the design approaches. Yep.
Okay. Yep. So after the method to be used for mba692, we have presented initial implementation that we created for product category. So far we had collected until April, mid-April. So we used like 3 months of data to present whatever we have collected so far. So this line chart show us the main product categories based on 3 months, like Jan, Feb, and March. As you can see, March, like the product sales is picking up slowly. Initially, January, we have a slow month, and after that, February, it has increased compared to Jan month. And in March, it significantly improved. Mainly, maybe it's because of the marketing campaigns that the client has done, or trying to market their product or website, and it has increased their sales. And as far as can see from the product category as well, there's a huge demand for home product categories as well as beauty product categories. So comparing these 3 months, we can say that these two products are really high in demand. And also there are null items as well that we have to exclude that. This will be done during our data analysis of data pre-processing, during data pre-processing. And also when we we believe when we compare all these data month by month, we'll get a really insight information from all this visualization. And for the next slide, it will be presented by Neeraja. So
Thank you. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you, Stella. Morning, everyone.
Neeraja, can you turn on your video if possible? Stella, you can turn off your video.
yeah.
Try to turn on my video. Let's see what's happening. Just give me a sec. It's not turning on.
Yep. If it's not possible, that's fine.
Yes. Just needed to approve. Oh, good. And thank you, Stella, for that. And I will continue with the next slide, which is the limitations that we have and potentially the client will face as well when the final deliverables are delivered to the client and they continue using this one. So one of the limitation they will have is the model and the data collected only refers to the ones we have selected so far. So if they decide to add information about new attributes on their future orders, they will not be able to use that with our product because our model will not accommodate that new features. Similarly, data, if they decide to store the data in different formats, or if they want that to be displayed in a different way, let's say, for example, we can say that we are looking at the price which is currently in AED. So let's say if they decide to change it to the other currency that they are recording as well, or if they want to try, let's say, rate conversion to calculate. So it also have some sort of limitation that can be overcome, but initially, well, will be one of the limitations. Thirdly, wide range of products being sold in small volumes. So as we can see from the categorization template, there are a lot of categories and a lot of subcategories. And also when gathering data from web scraping, there are a lot of categories being extracted. And although when we use the clustering method, obviously a lot of those categories might merge and become one cluster, but there's still a chance that there will be multiple categories altogether. And when we try to visualize that, some of the categories may not have sold as much, so they will be very small part of the visualization. And having crowded visualization is not an optimal solution, so we might use certain constraints to remove those from visualization part. And that might also be part of the limitations, as the client will only be able to see the high cells, and they won't be able to see the other low selling categories as well. The fourth one is outlier values for order attributes. As mentioned before, there are a lot of information or data in the order attributes that seems like outliers. For example, some of the prices recorded for certain products are way off, uh, or it is, not added correctly. Saying, for example, for certain product, it says product number ordered as 20, but when we go through the link to see how many were purchased, it is only like 5 or 6. So those details are not being added correctly, so they may come up as outliers as well. Fifth one is denied access to order data and platform. Some of the orders might be corrupted, so there's no access. So when we go through the order line, we are not able to retrieve any data. That might be the same with the client as well. And when they will try to go and see if they can collect that data or go through the platform where the page doesn't exist anymore, they might not be able to get that data. So which should have been part of the data collection to represent the sales and everything for the company, that data is lost for always. So that's another limitation that will come up for the accurate analysis. And finally, missing values for denied access orders, as well as certain orders that are too vague and not included in categorization. We have just listed that as null values, and will be removed, or maybe part of data analysis that will not give any proper information. So those will be the limitations for the project team as well as the client in the future. And in the next slide, we will talk about the future work. So once the deliverable has been delivered to the client, what can they do to improve it? So the first thing they can do is they can revisit their order dashboard and see if they can identify more attributes that they want to extract data for, so that they can expand the model and get more analysis done. They could migrate the dashboard that, let's say, if we will make the dashboards in one software, but if they think that the other software best serves them, they could migrate the dashboards and everything uh, from the back end to the other software as well, as per their needs. Thirdly, they could review the category template. So if they continue to decide doing manual data extraction following the categorization template, and if they believe that some categories may be added, removed, or merged together, then they can definitely go ahead and review that for their future. Uh, and in fourth, we can migrate dashboard or improve model for real-time analysis. So obviously there are a lot of softwares that allow automatic data extractions from various sources and give you information about real-time analysis. So let's say if the client business grows a lot and they want to automate everything, they could migrate the dashboard to another software, have it automate and extract information from the order dashboard, just like web scraping, and use it for data analysis. So it allows or helps them to reduce manual handling of data, and it will be more efficient. And finally, they could develop a database. So currently it is being stored in Excel sheet, and it's not a it's a data being collected, but it's not a proper database. So depending on their business needs and data being collected, they could develop a proper database. What that will do is it will help them extract data, use queries, which will open opportunities to use more softwares, because there are a lot of softwares that can use queries, and then also helps in real-time data analysis. And obviously, the main reason would be reduced manual handling, as well as making the process much faster. So with that, in the next slide, so the conclusion overall is, firstly, we have collected and processed some of the e-commerce sample data from the dashboard. And after that, we have performed initial descriptive analytics, as shown by Stella in the earlier slides, and which we've been used to identify some sales trends so far. But in the next mba692, we will be performing predictive analysis on our sample set, which will be picked out of the whole population data set. And after that, we will develop dashboards for descriptive and predictive analytics, obviously on different softwares, building the models and everything. And finally, during the process, we will be collaborating with our client to see if it meets their specific requirements, and work on those products as per their feedback. And finally, we have some references that in the next slide, we have some references which are the literatures we have reviewed for gathering better understanding for the project. And that is all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the everyone. So I will stop the recording first before I give comments, all right?
Yep.
Yep.